Which NHL franchise is the greatest of all time? And if you know your history, you probably already know the answer to that. It's not really hidden knowledge. It's pretty yeah. If you know your history, you're it's pretty clear, and that's because this is all time for NHL, not just since the 1967 expansion, which greatly benefits Toronto, by the way, because they would be at the very close to the bottom of the list if it weren't for doing all time compared to 67 expansion, because the last time they won a cup was before that. But all their cups being before that are still included if we go all time. So Toronto moves up way more. They're way higher than they would be. So they're greatly benefiting from the fact that this is an all-time list. So best of all time. How am I ranking that? I'm going by who has made it the furthest and how many times have they made it as far as they have. So that means that if a team has won 2 Stanley Cups compared to a team that has won 1 Stanley Cup, then obviously the one with 2 is higher. They've won more times. They've gone farther. They've gone farther on more occasions. And the other thing is, obviously, if they've won a Stanley Cup in the first place, they've gone further than a team who has only made the finals. So they've won. The team who made the finals lost, and so they're obviously ranked lower on the list. And same with conference finals. They're lower than the finalists if they've never made the finals. So that's how I'm doing it. Basically, who has made it the furthest and who has made it the furthest on however many occasions they have. So I think that's the right way to do it. I think that definitely shows, in terms of all-time franchises, who is the best, which definitely heavily favors the original 6. It heavily favors the older teams because they've been in the league so much longer and they've had more time to make deeper runs to the cup or win more cups, right? Some of the newer teams haven't had the same opportunity. They haven't had the same amount of time, and so they are lower, which really shows for our first team here, number 31, last place. And it's probably not a big surprise, though, because they are the only team that's never made it to the conference finals, and that's the Columbus Blue Jackets. They have made it to round 2. And that's nothing against them, really. They're a newer team. They're the second newest team that's played in the NHL, because if we were going by newest teams that haven't yet played, Seattle just got named. So Vegas would be second. But back in 2000, the Columbus Blue Jackets joined the league, so they haven't had much time. And it's not a shot against them either, because when they made it to round 2, like, they did it in spectacular fashion. Like, that's a big thing to overcome Tampa like they did. The best team in the regular season that we've seen in years. So they did really well. And honestly, with this next season coming up, or not next season, this continuation of the season, this play-in and then playoffs, and man, I'm so excited for that. I hope everything goes well and that we finish the season, because I know they did the right thing. They definitely did the right thing back in March by postponing. That was the safe thing, and that was good. But I'm glad that season isn't just ending that way, like that. And I'm just really hoping that we get a champion out of that season that has been worked so hard and they played so hard for back at the start of the year and before. So Columbus is last. And what I was going to say is that we're not into the play-in round or the playoffs yet, so Columbus could easily move up on this list. I shouldn't say easily. It would take making the conference finals, but they definitely have a shot at it. You know, if they can make it past Toronto and go on a bit of a run, they could even win the Stanley Cup, really. Who knows who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Like, they have a shot. they're in contention. They can move up a huge amount on this list if they do. So right now, though, before we start the play-in series, they are in 31st place. And yeah, nothing to be ashamed of really for them. I feel bad for the one team on here that kind of has more to be ashamed of. Honestly, like, I should maybe talk. But anyway, 20, or actually, we're only at 30. I've been talking a long time. 30, Winnipeg Jets. They have made the conference finals. And remember, this is the Atlanta Thrashers franchise that became the Winnipeg Jets. So they're a little bit, they're actually, we're not including the old Winnipeg Jets with this Winnipeg Jets, but even if we did, this Winnipeg Jets already has surpassed them because they've made the conference finals and the old Jets never did, which amazes me, actually. I am really surprised that they never did. And I actually feel really bad. Like, that's not really, I'm not trying to take shots against them because I actually like the Winnipeg Jets. I'm just, it's sad, and hopefully, I'm glad this team has done as well as they have. Is what I have to say about that, I guess. 29. That is the Minnesota Wild. So another newer team, another team that's the second newest to play because they're tied with Columbus. They came in at the same time. They made the conference finals, but unlike this new Winnipeg team, they've also made the second round on 2 other occasions. So Winnipeg, when they made the second round, they made the conference finals. That was the only time they made the second round. And Minnesota has made it 2 times apart from when they made the conference finals. So that's why they're higher up. Then 28, we have the Arizona Coyotes, which is the old Winnipeg Jets. And they benefit against the Wild by the fact that I think by the fact that they have more time in the league. But them being so low, they're like the oldest team down here. And that's what I find really sad. I feel really bad. I feel for them. But they're here. They've made the conference finals once, but that's the Arizona Coyotes when they did that. They made the second round twice apart from that, which is the same as Minnesota. But what I was talking about them benefiting from having been around a little longer, they benefit against Minnesota. They have 16 first round appearances apart from the times they've gone further, and Minnesota only has 6 first round. So that's why they're higher. 27, Vegas Golden Knights, which are Stanley Cup finalists. They are Stanley Cup finalists. So that's it. There's only 4 teams that have not made the finals left in the league. And yeah, that's quite something. So Vegas, basically they're this low because they're a new team. They've made the Stanley Cup finals, but they've only had one other year. And that other year, they went out in the first round. I mean, you know, should they have? I mean, some will say that wasn't a penalty. Some will say, why did you give up that many goals on the power play at the end of the game? But either way, for this ranking, they are in 27th. And yeah, they're doing better than older teams. Yeah. And honestly, if they would have made the second round, they would have been ahead of our next team, because our next team has made the finals. But apart from that, they've also only been in the first round. They've been in the first round 4 times, and that is the Florida Panthers. And I put their old logo on. It's my video. I think it's better. I think it's better than their new logo. I think they should go back to it. That's why the old logo's on there. And basically, I can do what I want with this video. So I'm just putting Florida on there with their old logo. And man, that's my favorite logo in NHL history. I love it. I think it looks awesome. And so that's why it's there. And I haven't really changed anyone else's. main logo. But I did change Florida's, so there you go. That's Florida. They made it to the Stanley Cup final, like I said. And yeah, again, they're only ahead of Vegas because they've been to the first round 4 times, whereas Vegas just made the playoffs 1 other time. So yeah, 25 we have the Nashville Predators, who have also made the Stanley Cup finals once. And they're ahead of Florida because they made it to the second round. They made it to the second round 4 different times, apart from when they went to the finals. So that's pretty good on them. Good for Nashville. They're a younger team as well, but they've been pretty good. Senators are in 24th. And this shows you that we're talking about franchises. We're not talking about just teams. We're talking about ranking all 31 franchises in the NHL, because the old Ottawa Senators, they have some Stanley Cups to their name, but as far as this franchise goes, they have 1 Stanley Cup Finals appearance, and they're ahead of Nashville because they've gone to the conference finals on 2 separate occasions. So they've been to the conference finals on 2 times where they haven't been to the finals, whereas Nashville only made the conference finals when they went to the final. So yeah, that's that. And in 23rd we have the San Jose Sharks. They have also been to the Stanley Cup finals once, but they have 4 conference finals appearances apart from Ottawa's 2. And so they're ahead. And I just remember the Sharks when they always just made it to the conference finals and they can never get past it. It was like a thing. The Sharks will do good. They'll make it to the conference finals, but they won't get past. And finally they did in 2016. So they're ranked higher than 27th, which actually 27th, when I was talking about Toronto before, 27th is where they would be. If it was after the 67 expansion, because they have not gone to the finals since. They've gone to the conference finals a few times, which is why they would still be ahead of Arizona. But yeah, this really benefits Toronto in those terms, because it's been a long time for Toronto since they've won a Stanley Cup or even been in the finals, which again could change. But it would not change their ranking this year because they have won cups in the past. So there's that. 22. Who is number 22? 22, we have our first multiple-time finalist. I don't know if I said that right, but first team that's been in the finals more than once, which is the Buffalo Sabres. And they are a very old team, but I can't really talk because my favorite team is coming up next. And they're in the exact same boat. The only difference between them and Buffalo is Buffalo has made it to the finals twice, whereas my boys, my Vancouver Canucks, they've made it 3 times, and that is the only reason they're ranked ahead. They're basically in the exact same boat as Buffalo. I know how Buffalo feels. Man, it's tough. It's tough being a Canucks fan. It really is. Who knows what they can do this year, though. But yeah, the only way they're moving up is if they win the cup, pretty much. So, yeah, there's that. So, now we get to our Stanley Cup teams. And our Stanley Cup teams, yeah, this is where things really get good. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Vancouver because we're the best team to never have won the cup. It's lame. It's really lame. Anyway, 20. Washington. The Washington Capitals are team number 20. They have won 1 Stanley Cup. And so they are ahead of Vancouver. And in 19th place, we have Carolina, who have also won 1 Stanley Cup. And the reason they're ahead of Washington is, so they both have 1 Stanley Cup. They both have 1 Stanley Cup Finals appearance apart from that. But Carolina has made it to the conference final one extra time. So they have two conference finals appearances compared to Washington's one conference finals appearance. And that is why they are where they are. 18th position is the Tampa Bay Lightning. And they also have one Stanley Cup. They're ahead of Carolina because they have been to the conference finals 3 times, apart from going further, whereas Carolina has only been there twice. So that's it. That's pretty much it. Tampa's been such a strong team too, and Carolina's been, until recently, kind of irrelevant at points. They've not been in the playoffs before last year for a long time. But last year, yeah, they made that big conference final run again. When they are in the playoffs, they do very well. Whereas Tampa, they also seem to do very well in when they're in the playoffs, but not well enough to win. So they did it once back with Martin St. Louis in 2004. And then for Calgary fans, I guess maybe it's a little bit of a consolation that you're ahead of Tampa Bay in the standings, but you're also older of a team. Anyway, I won't talk about that. I was very upset when that goal got disallowed. Basically, I was rooting for Calgary there. But anyway, in 17th place, it's not actually Calgary. We have the Anaheim Ducks, and I said I didn't use another logo. I did the Ducks there, the Mighty Ducks there, because I used the Anaheim D in the Ducks for the writing. So that's why it's like that. It's cool. I actually like this. Anyway, yeah. So Anaheim has won 1 Stanley Cup. They've been to 1 Stanley Cup final, just like Tampa Bay. They've been to 3 conference finals, just like Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay, apart from that, has only been to 1 second round, and Anaheim's been to 3. So that's why Anaheim's ahead. And then we get to number 16, which is, that's the Stanley Cup that they won. Calgary with 1 Stanley Cup. And Calgary has been a very strong team in the past. They've been a very strong team, but they only got the cup once. They were in that era where the Oilers were just not giving anyone else a chance pretty much, except for Calgary the one year. And yeah, that took Steve Smith. And I forget who Calgary played in 89. I don't know if they played Edmonton or not. I forget. That was the Gretzky-less Edmonton anyway. But I'm not sure actually. Maybe I should look that up. But anyway, Calgary has been to 2 finals to Anaheim's 1, apart from having won the Stanley Cup. So yeah, that's why they're ahead. 15 is St. Louis, who are just here because of this past year. And, they have 1 Stanley Cup. Just 1 Stanley Cup. They're ahead of Calgary. Why are they ahead of Calgary? They've been to 3 finals apart from that, instead of Calgary's 2. That's why. And then ahead of St. Louis in spot number 14, we have the Dallas Stars, who have also won 1 Stanley Cup. And they are ahead of St. Louis. They both have 3 finals appearances apart from their cup. But Dallas, who used to be the Minnesota North Stars, they have 5 conference finals appearances, and St. Louis has 4 conference finals appearances, and that is what did it. That is all it was. 13th place, we have Colorado, and they are the only perfect team in the finals that is still left. They're the only team that's made it to the finals, and when they've made it to the finals, they've not lost. Making it to the finals equals a win every time, and that's the only team that works for is Colorado. And they've won not 1, but 2 Stanley Cups. And so, yeah, there you go. 2 cups. We're in the 2 cup range. 12th place is the Los Angeles Kings, who also have 2 Stanley Cups, and they're ahead of Colorado because they've made it to the finals 1 more time. 11th place is Philly, and they also have only 2 Stanley Cups. And yeah, those are the oldest Stanley Cups on the board so far. They are 1975, and I believe it was 76, but it could have been 74 as well. I get that mixed up sometimes. But yeah, there's Philadelphia. They have their 2 Stanley Cups, and they're ahead of Los Angeles because Los Angeles has only 1 extra appearance, whereas Philly has 6. 6 times Philly's made the finals and lost. And yeah, that's hard. I definitely remember cheering for Philly in 2010. But it wasn't so. So that was Philly. So now we are in the top 10. And this is where cups start to really add up. So ahead of those teams with 2 Stanley Cups is number 10, the New Jersey Devils, and they have 1, 2, 3 Stanley Cups. And so that's why they're ahead. That's really all I have to say about that. Number 9 is the New York Islanders, and they have their 4 Stanley Cups in a row that they got in the 80s, 1980 to 1983. And so, yeah, and then in 84 they went to the finals again. But because number 8, the New York Rangers, were who also have 4 Stanley Cups, because they had 7 finals appearances compared to New York's 1, they are in 8th place. And now we get to those with 5 Stanley Cups. So now we're at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has 5 Stanley Cups. Yeah, that's whew. Yeah, we're getting in there into the big territory. The big teams, the big historical teams. And it's amazing to think that Pittsburgh was in danger of losing their team at one point in the mid-2000s. I think that's when it was. Yeah, and they turned that around. But they already had 2 Stanley Cups when they were in danger. And now they've just made it so that they'll probably never leave. And for the foreseeable future, at least. Like, they're not leaving before a lot of these teams, at least. Which is, I think that's good. Honestly, my opinion is that if you've won a Stanley Cup, you shouldn't leave. I think the last time that happened, I'm pretty sure the last time a team who had won the Stanley Cup got relocated, I believe it was the old Ottawa Senators back in, I don't know, 20s or 30s. It was a long time ago. So, yeah, that is my opinion on that anyway. Number 6, we have the Oilers. And they have 5 Stanley Cups as well. Back when Gretzky was a part of their team and then won without him in 1990. We have 5th place is Chicago. And this is where we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Stanley Cups. And sorry, I forgot to mention why Edmonton was ahead of Pittsburgh there. Edmonton is ahead of Pittsburgh because they've been to 2 extra finals, whereas Pittsburgh's only been to 1 extra, which is when they lost to Detroit in 2008. But yeah, Chicago, 6 Stanley Cups, and yeah, from here on out, it is the original 6. New York is the last place team for the original 6. So yeah, 5th is Chicago. So 4th, another original 6 team, is Boston. Boston, not one of my favorite teams, but you know what? Here they are. They definitely have some good history. And honestly, there's only 1 cup that they've won that I've minded. The rest of their history with, like, let's talk about Bobby Orr, for instance. Yeah, I love that they won. I love that Bobby Orr has won a Stanley Cup. He's won 2. Honestly, his career was cut short. That's how I feel. And, that's probably how everyone feels. Like, he kind of got out because of, I think it was his knees. But yeah, those are some great historical cups there. And even though Boston's not one of my favorite teams nowadays, man, what a great history they have. They really do have a great history. 6 Stanley Cups. 6 Stanley Cups. And the reason they're ahead of Chicago is because Chicago, apart from their 6 cup wins, have made the finals. They made the finals 7 times, and Boston's made it 14 times. So Boston's been in the finals a lot. They've actually been in the finals more times than they've lost more times than they've won in the finals. Number 3. This is where we get into territory where it's you probably know who it is, because they're the teams that have won more than 10 cups. So in 3rd place, Detroit has 11 Stanley Cups. So here it is: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11. Detroit. That is Detroit for you. City of, well, it's Hockey Town. I was going to say City of Champions. Not super recently, but even in this era, though, they've still been a really good team. That streak of, I think it was 25 years. Awesome. So, now we're down to number 2, Toronto. And they have 13 Stanley Cups. And they're all before the 67 expansion. So this really helps that it's all time. And that puts them in 2nd. I was surprised that they were 2nd. I thought they were 3rd for some reason. I don't know why I thought they were 3rd. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Stanley Cups. And they're all before 1967. They were very good back then. And since the expansion, Montreal has really taken over as the best team. I kind of spoiled number 1 for you, but I mean, there's only one team left anyway. They've really been the best team since the expansion. But before then, they probably were still the best team. I didn't count exactly what years they won all their cups. But yeah, they are all-time the best team. Even in this, since 1967, they probably still would be if we did it from that, because they had many years where they won multiple years in a row. They're the last Canadian team to win one, which is 93. And yeah, that's your teams. That is the ranking. And so before I go, I'm just going to finish off by throwing all of Montreal's Stanley Cups up there. 23 since the NHL. I believe it was 24, but they had one before the NHL came into being, and I think it's 23 since they've been in. So here they are.